Hi, I'm Marlena. I am a writer, tarot reader, and folklore enthusiast. And at Islandwise, I use the tarot for traditional tarot readings and personal mythwork guidance for clients all around the world. Stick around because at the end of this video, there is a free gift to help you get started on your personal mythwork journey. So since this is our first Folklore Friday, let's cover what they are. Every Friday, we're going to be talking about some famous creatures and characters from folklore and mythology and talking about how the symbolism of these characters and creatures can fit into our own personal mythwork journey. We'll look into how these stories correlate into some of our guiding myths and talk about how the characters become archetypes that shape all of our lives. This idea was inspired by Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes' book, Women Who Run with the Wolves, looking at classic fairy tales and folklore in comparison with the wild woman archetype. So what we're going to be doing on Folklore Fridays is more along the lines of looking at different folklore and mythology and the characters and creatures that come out of these things and how they have influenced potentially some of our own guiding myths and how these things become the archetypes that we shape our character around. So this week, since we're just starting our mythwork journey together and our first Folklore Friday, we'll be looking at the Chickcharney, thinking of the Chickcharney as kind of our mythwork gatekeeper who's going to help us get started with our journey and make sure that we have the tools for the road that we need. So first, let's start by describing what a Chickcharney is. I'm sure any Bahamian viewers will know, but for the people who aren't Bahamian, let's cover it. The Chickcharney is pretty much the most talked about creature or cryptid from Bahamian mythology. So just to get into what they look like first, since most people aren't familiar with them, they are described as being owl-like. So they're not owls at all, but they are similar to owls. They're owl-like, but you wouldn't mistake it for an owl. Chickcharneys are supposedly around 3 feet tall, feathered, they have wings, but apparently they also have arms and hands beneath those wings. And on those arms they have 3 fingers and 3 toes. They're said to have very large eyes and they're sometimes described as being red. Also, like owls, they have the ability to turn their head almost completely the whole way around. And this matters later. As far as what they do, whether they're good or bad, their temperament is debatable because it's so heavily reliant on you. So apparently, if you run into a Chickcharney in the woods, your experience with them is completely reliant on your intention and how you act around them. Traditionally, it's entirely based on the traveler's intention. If you had good intentions with the Chickcharney, you get blessed with luck or a treasure of some kind. And if you have bad intentions, if you think you're gonna come, steal this Chickcharney to put it in a museum, or if you're gonna steal something from the Chickcharney, the story doesn't end as well for you. On a nice, sugar-coated children's bedtime story, you have bad luck for the rest of your life, maybe. In other stories, a negative experience with a Chickcharney results in them turning your head the whole way around like an owl, or like they can apparently, but of course we can't do that, so we break your neck. So as far as the basis in reality, there have been some scientists who say that the closest thing they found to it is a very, very extinct bird called the Tytopollens, whose fossils were found just on the level below where the Lucayans, which were the Bahamian indigenous people, they were found a layer below their fossils. So really old extinct bird, and it wasn't even found in Andros. So yes, there used to be a giant owl here. Does that mean that there's no Chickcharney? I don't know. Seeing that they didn't find it in Andros, I still think that those are two totally separate things. So now let's talk about the symbolism of the Chickcharney. Like an owl, how they have that kind of, I think it's 270 degrees of rotation they can have on their view. It's symbolizing that having a clear view of your life. You have an awareness of your surroundings, your past, your present, an awareness of the subconscious, and ability to shift perspectives with ease. Also feeding into this amazing sight and ability to shift perspectives, these large red eyes, that kind of keen intuition and sight. This is what tells them whether or not the traveler that's coming to them is coming to them with good intentions or not. This is what gives them the ability to see things for what they are and be able to read people well. And red is also the same color as your root chakra, so it's very based in survival and primitive and instinctive tendency. This also kind of represents their strong boundary against self-betrayal and seeing in the dark. So again, having that really strong intuition. So if you could pull this kind of aspect into your life, imagine how much this kind of sight would change things for you. Next is the fact that they have these arms and hands, well, claws, underneath their wings. This is giving them kind of these added capabilities. This is what says, okay, this is not a normal bird. To me, this represents that aspect of connecting your physical, your mundane self with your more magical side, or whatever aspect of yourself you have that is something that has potential to make you special and make you stand out, but you have a tendency to hide it beneath your wings or hide it beneath the thing that makes you seem more normal, makes you seem like other birds. This is very often representative, in my opinion, of our tendency to conceal our added capabilities, to hide what makes us special. So to go back to the people who say that they're these tidal pollens, these extinct giant owls that were found in caves at the layers just below the Bahamian indigenous people, the Lucayans, it's a bit symbolic of reconnecting to that time, those more ancient times when being human and relating to magic was intertwined and was part of daily life. This belief in magical thinking that would help fuel the progress of these people, or that would work hand in hand with these people. And finally, the punishment of having your head spun around, so essentially having your neck broken for lying or having a bad intention when you come up to this magical creature. To me, when we're looking at symbolism and this action, I think this punishment is representative of the result of denying to see the truth. And once you've gotten to that point where you have lied and you've lied and you've lied either to yourself or to others, or you've been lying about yourself, that eventually the time is going to come when you are forced to see your truth, and it's uncomfortable, and it might end the life that you were living because of being forced to see what was really the truth of the matter, or being forced to own up to your truth. Face what you've denied, what you have refused to look at, be that what was in your past, or be it who you really are under the surface. So turning your head all the way around like the Chickcharney can see. But obviously the end result of something like that in real life would probably be more like you end up with more perspective. You end up with having a better sight, a better awareness, because you learn from the event of being forced to see what you've created. So now, how you can apply this to your mythwork journey. I have created a 2-part freebie. So the first part is a 5-minute guided meditation to help you get into the space or the mindset needed for the mythwork that you're going to be embarking on with this freebie. The second part is a principle, and in the principle we look at how the Chickcharney relates to ourselves. So like how I was talking about the Chickcharney and symbolism a little bit earlier in this video, we'll now be looking at how we ourselves correlate to this experience with the Chickcharney. In the principle, you'll also be able to go through some exercises to identify our current personal myths, the good and the bad, and their influence over us, because you might be surprised the stories that are influencing you that may not even have come from you, that you might not even be consciously acting out of until you're prompted to really think about what is motivating your choices. Exercises also help you to connect and identify with the magic in our lives and work through the special side of ourselves that we're hiding in fear of judgment. It'll also help you reflect on any past self-betrayal and what the cost was, but not to leave you in that position. It also takes you through some things where you can identify ways that you can remain more loyal to yourself in the future and really lean into your authenticity instead of possibly backing back into self-betraying habits. And finally, we're going to cover some daily steps we can take to bring more of the Chickcharney's sight, magic, and bravery into our daily lives. Just click the link in the description, enter your email, and your freebie will be on the way. This really shouldn't take any more than probably 25 minutes, including the meditation, so it's not something that's going to take up a big part of your day, but you might find that it helps you make some pretty major breakthroughs. Finally, I want to announce that my website is up and running and I'm offering live readings via Zoom. We can connect now via Zoom if you don't want to have to wait for those processing times with the email readings. We can just do a live call. I do 30-minute and 60-minute tarot guidance, and then I also do a 75-minute personal mythwork guidance call where we will also do, if you'd like, one of my signature personal mythwork tarot spreads. I'm so excited to work more closely with you all in the near future. If you tried the freebie and you really liked it, please come back and comment and let us know if you feel like it, what kind of breakthroughs or any realizations you made when you were doing doing the freebie. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful weekend. Let me know if you have any ideas for creatures or characters or myths that you'd like me to cover in future Folklore Fridays.